Today we shall resume our class on the Tattva Bodha by Sri Shankaracharya. Almost after 1 month gap we'll start today, and we'll just first do a very short recapitulation of what we have studied in the last few months, and then we'll carry over to the next slokas. Till now we have studied on up to the Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. Today we'll start from the Karana Sharira with the very short in the very beginning earlier verses. First let us begin with the Mangalaracharan, the verse by Bhagavad Pad Sri Adi Shankaracharya. The Mangalaracharan verse. We'll just once go back to the screen. The screen probably it is getting slowed up. I think now we can see the verse. So Vasudeva, Vasudevendra Yogendram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshanam Hitarthaya Tattvabodha Abhidhiyate. We bow down to Vasudevendra, the king of yogis, Parameshwara Bhagavan, who is the Guru and who is the bestower of Jnana, to whom? To the Mumukshana, who wants the path of truth, the liberation, for their benefit. This Tattva Bodha, the knowledge of understanding of the truth, is being expounded. Earlier we have studied the first chapter in the Adhikari, and there we have learnt about the four sadhana chatushtaya. In short, Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadama Adi, Shat Chatushtaya, Sharasampatti, and then the Mukshatva. Viveka we have studied, it is the differentiate way to ability to differentiate between the Satya and Mithya, or the Nitya and Nitya, Sat and Asat, or the in very right and wrong, you may say in that way. And then Vairagya is when you know about this differentiation, you decide that we will want to seek the truth and we want to reject that which is untruth. That is Vairagya. Then there was Shamadama Shat Sampatti. The Shama was, we have studied that the control of the mind. Then Dhamma was the control of the sense organs. Then Uparama, Swadharma Anusthana Beva, that doing your right duty, or so that your mind should not waver again to the worldly objects towards that by losing or forgetting your Viveka. It should not go to the false path or the opposite path or go back to the wrong way. You just carry on with the right path. Then Titiksha, to endure the phobia, all the pains, all the struggle, persevere, all whatever problem comes, so that you do not waver from your goal or from your path. Then Shraddha, whatever your Guru, preceptor, preacher has said, and whatever the Shastras, the Vedanta, the Shruti, whatever they said, which has been the teachings of the earlier great the Gurus, to have that faith, that Astikya Buddhi, that is Shraddha, that about this knowledge which has been given by the Guru and the Shastras. And then Samadhana, which your mind now, right, which holds on very much on it. whichever we have said till now, that mind is very much fixed on this teachings, and now mind cannot be pulled away or strained away towards any other path. Then Mumukshvatva was that the let I become liberated, that will, so that where there is a will, there is a way. So when we have that idea that uh, slowly that I should get this, know this truth and be liberated, so that thought and that will force, that wish should come within us. So this is Mumukshatva. Then now we'll carry on with the second chapter, the Atma Tattva Viveka. Here, the Tattva Viveka, we have studied earlier that it is the idea to know that Atma alone is real and everything else is unreal. What is Atman? That will come, but slowly, like when we peel an onion, different layers we peel up and we go inner and inner. Slowly that way, in our body, which we think that I am this body, this is our perception in this world. So this way, we'll first go from this very gross body, then slowly go back and inside, inwardly, to the inner path, and differentiate through that and find out what is Atman. So that way it will come up. Here it is said that that which is Atman is, this part we have already studied earlier, so we are just very shortly, I am just glossing over to make a recapitulation. It was said that that which is different other than the Sthula Sharira, the gross body, the Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, and Karana Sharira, the causal body, and which is beyond the five sheaths, the Panchakosha, and which is the Sakshi, witness of the three states of awareness, and which is the nature of Sat Chit Ananda, absolute existence, knowledge, and bliss. That is Atman. So then the definition of which is Sthula Sharira, which is Sukshma Sharira, that came because Atma is which is other than all these things. Sthula, Sukshma, Karana is beyond the five Panchakosha, beyond the three states of awareness, and but the Swarupa of nature of Satchit Ananda. So what is these other things which has to be negated? And then we can reach Atman. So Sthula Sharira we have studied earlier. The Sthula or gross body is where through the Panchabhuta, Panchakrita Panchamahabhuta, this idea of Panchakrita Panchamahabhuta, this will come the next chapter. So we will not discuss in details of this Panchakrita Panchamahabhuta. We will just listen to these names, and the next chapter, the explanation of this Panchakrita Panchamahabhuta will come. So with this, the body, the gross body, which is composed of these five Panchamahabhuta, by undergoing the process of that Panchakarana, and which is born of the result of good actions of the past, the earlier actions, and the tenement to earn the experience of the Sukha Dukkha and alike, and which is subject to the six modifications. Which is the six modifications? The Shara Vikara, that it is called that Jayate, Asti, then it grows, then it changes, Viparinmate, Vardhate Viparinmate, then Apakshiyate, decays, then it dies, Nashyati. So this six changes undergoes, that it comes to existence, it takes birth, and it grows in its then in its texture and in its form, and it changes, and then decays, and it ends. That which becomes that it ends. So this is a short definition of gross body we have studied earlier, Sthula Sharira. Then Sukshma Sharira also we have studied in the last class. It is apanchakrita mahabhuta. Like the Sthula Sharira was panchakrita through panchikarana five mahabhuta. This is also by five mahabhuta, but this is apanchakrita. Before they are undergoing the process of panchikarana. Again, this concept of panchikarana mahabhuta will come in the next chapter, and it is born of good actions of the past, like the Sthula Sharira, and experiences pleasure and pain, Sukha Dukkha, and constitution of 17 items. What are the 17 items? 5 Gyanendriya, 5 sense organs, 5 Karmendriya, 5 organs of actions, 5 Prana, Pancha Prana, called Prana, Apana, Udana, Samana, Vyana. So 5, 5, 5, 15, and mind and intellect, Mana and Buddhi. This total 17 together forms the Sukshma Sharira, or the subtle body. Then this also part we have studied, that which are with the 5 Gyanendriyas, which are the 5 Karmendriyas. What were the 5 Gyanendriyas? It was the ear, skin, eye, tongue, and nose. Just to remember that we are studying here in the Sukshma Sharira part. So these are not the gross part which we know as ear or eye or tongue in our gross body. It is a corresponding organ in the Sukshma Sharira, which is Sukshma, which is subtle, which cannot be seen or touched by our external eyes. External eyes or external ear, it is in the Sthula Sharira. But the main Indriya is in the Sukshma Sharira, which is not gross, which is subtle. The corresponding gross part is which we can observe in any bodiless eyes and ears and other things. But this is a corresponding subtle part, which is called the Indriyas. So eye, skin, ear, tongue, and nose. These are the 5 organs of perception, Gyanendriya. And for each organs, there is one Devata, it is said, like through which the whatever function they perform. It is named that for Srotra, for the eye, it is the Devata is a beak, or the space. For the Tvak, the skin, touch, it is the ear. For the eyes, it is the for the ear it is the space. For the eyes it is the sun, Surya. For the skin touch it is the ear, Vayu. For the tongue taste it is the Varuna, principle of water. And for the Grana, smell or nose, it is the Ashwini Kumara Dvaya. And these ideas we have said earlier, we have discussed in details that these are the, as the deities, Devata, we know the forms also there. But here again, from the Div Dhatu means, the mind idea of Div Dhatu is that which illumines, that which manifests, so that we can illumine our knowledge, or everything illumines any subject. So that way the idea of this is, this Indriyas, by this Devata means, they illumine so that we get the corresponding knowledge. Through Srotra we can hear, through Tvak we can touch, and with eyes we can see, and so forth. So this idea is, all these Devata means that there is a conscious principle of the saying of the Satchidananda in this form, and so that they function through this Indriyas, so that these Indriyas can do their respective functions very nicely. Like in a government, the main in the government constitution, there may be president or prime minister like that, but president or prime minister like that, they, the topmost body, they do not work in the small different corners of the country or the place, but there the different officers are there, and different officers, different departments, different special officers or even clerks, or their different part government persons, servants, and public servants are there. They carry on their respective, their own sphere work, and ultimately everything goes, is by ruled, run by the government main authority, like the president or prime minister. So it also similarly like that, through Parameshwara Satchidananda Bhagavan, through the will of Ishvara, Paramatma Parameshwara, these devatas are from the same, through that their force, and through their knowledge, and through their will, and they illumine this, their corresponding, their office, as it were, they hold their corresponding office, and they do their corresponding work through the all the power gained or by given by the Parameshwara. So they are called the Devata. And then for Srotra, for each sense of organ, there is some Vishaya, the subject, whichever work they do. Like for Srotra, for the ear, it is to listen sound. For the skin, it is to touch. And for the eyes, to see the forms. For tongue, to know the taste. And for the nose, to get the smell. Now similarly, for the Karmendriya, I think up to this part we have studied in the last day. Karmendriya also, I think it was over, na? Or we didn't do this Karmendriya. I think we have done. So I'll just in a very short will gloss over. Similarly, the ideas are similar like the Gyanendriya part. 11.6 it says Vak Pani Pada Payu Upasthani Iti Pancha Karmendriyani. These five things are Vani, Hasta, Pada, Payu, Upastha. Pancha Gyan Karmendriya. What are they? Vak is speech. Pani is hands. Pada is legs. Payu is anus. And Upastha is genitals. These are the five Karmendriyas, the organs of action. Like similar to the Gyanendriya, here also the same division in the way the function through the Devata it is there. For the Vacha, Devata Vannihi. For the Vacha means the Vani. The presiding Devata for Devata ke Devata Agni hai. The presiding deity of speech is fire. We know that very much that the fire like fire burns. A speech can burn a person still more even. Fire burns only physically, but speech, if you speak nicely or sweetly good way, or if you speak very harshly, rebuke somebody, a person can be hurt or insulted, and though a physical fire, physical burn can be cured or healed by medicines, but when somebody insulted or anything negative happens like that through this speech by somebody else, then that scar which happens in his or her mind, sometimes it remains for the whole life long. It never heals. And the reverse will also, when good speech or speak gently or good, then also a very good impression it makes. And again, if it is again in another way, deceptive speech, it is you in the face value you are saying one thing, but you are meaning something else. Or dual meaning is the double meaning speech. You know, come to know that somebody has just he has deceived you. Then also that speech harms. So that's why speech has been compared. Its deity is like fire. Like fire can burn you, your physical body. Speech can burn our mind, our antakarana. Through or if it is good, then it can be very soothing. Like in fire in the winter, it is very soothing. It helps us, and fire has very so many positive things, so that we can cook, we can warm our water, and so many things. The fire helps us, and also fire can may destroy. That's why both way Vacha Devata Vannihi, the presiding deity of speech is fire. Then Hasta Indra, and this part also we have studied earlier. That story of Hasta Indra, that person who inadvertently killed a cow, and in his garden, and when Yama, the Duta came for his papa for his sins, he said that because Hasta's Devata is Indra, Indra should take all the papa, the sin of that. Then the story goes, we know that uh, Indra came and I'll just you can best switch over. We can hear some word is coming. I can hear some other word here, so that it's not we are not able to do that. Now, all right. Some other sound was coming. Uh, Hasta Indra, that's like that story. Where that person, then the Indra story goes that Indra came to him and said about his good deeds, that how wonderfully he built the his garden, and he said that everything done by myself, my own hands. And when he saw that the cow has been killed, then he caught hold of him that then you have done this also by your own hand. So the Devata is Indra, but you have done by your own through ego, so your own responsibility. You cannot shed off your responsibility and you can put the blame on others. You have to take the blame on yourself. So these are the guiding principles, but we need to wield the powers in our hand. Like it is said that science can be in a very good way can be used. It can be used in a bad way. Like atomic energy. It can be used very good way, or it can be used in a destructive way, like atom bombs and so on. So here also the hasta, the for the hand, the devata is Indra, but how we use well this power, it is in our own hand. We are the man or the maker of our own destiny. So we are responsible. Padaya Vishnu. For the feet, it is Vishnu. Because for the feet, you can the conquer the whole world, or you can move on through that. And the story also goes that in his Vaman avatar, Vishnu, through his pada, he just covered the whole the bhuvanas, and so that by that power, that symbolically here also the devata's feet, pada is Vishnu. Then Payur Mrityuhu. For the Payu. Payu is the organ of the anus is the organ of the excretion, where you leave it. You're either you're passing urine or passing your excretions, passing stool like that. The symbolic is that in the whole world, everywhere, that we need to take, also we need to give. If we take but do not give, we know that any human being, if he fails, his kidney fails or his stomach, some other problem happens, then he'll die in a no in a very short time. So this is very important that you need to be aware of that, that you need to leave and to make space for others. So this idea concept is given. That's why Paya Mrityu. So Mrityu is we fear death, that we have to leave this world, but this positive way, the spirit, that when we live, that also a way of a new generation or next birth or next life, or in the larger ecology or larger in the world system, as a world being a living organism, we're just helping the process to carry on so that it doesn't get stagnant. If a stagnation happens, it dies. So stagnation should not be there. So that way it has been given for Paya Mrityu. Then Upastha Prajapati. For the organ of generation, genitals is Prajapati. Prajapati means we know that idea of Brahma, who is creator. So because the organ of generation, genitals is for creation, for the next your progeny. So that idea comes through Brahma, Prajapati is, and Prajapati means he also looks over the Praja or the Bhutaganas, all the beings in the world. He is the father of all the take cares of the master of all the Prajas or beings in the world. So that way, and he is the through him the creation begins. So that way, the power of genitals, the Devata is Prajapati. So these are the Karmendriya Devata. And now, what is the actions? We have studied this also. Vacha Vishaya Bhashanam. Through speech, to organize speech, we need to speak. And for Pani Vishaya Vastu Grahanam. Through hand, we grasp hold onto things. And Padar Visha Gamanam, locomotion to move through the legs. Then Payar Vishaya Malatyagaha, we said the excretory organ to eliminate the waste products. And that way waste product, we said that both symbolically we can take the excretory organ and us also, or we can take the kidney part also, the expression of both stool or urine. Symbolically we can take that way. And then Upastha Vishaya Anandati. For Upastha, the genital organs, for pleasure through the procreation for the next progeny. So up to this there was the Sushma Sharira. Now let us come to the today's direct part, that the Karana Sharira. In short, we'll just do today Karana Sharira, and let us see that what the definition Sri Shankaracharya gives. He says Karana Sharira Kim. Karana Sharira kise कहते हैं? What is the causal body? He gives the answer. The definition of Karana Sharira he gives. What is given here? Anirvachya Anadi Avidya Rupam Sharira Dvayasya Karana Matram Sat Swarupa Ajnanam Nirvikalpa Rupam Yadasti Tat Karana Shariram. This is a very important definition comes now. This is the innermost our Sharir. Sthula Sukshma Karana, the gross, subtle and the causal body. It is said jo anirvachaniya, then which is anadi, then which is avidya rupam. This rupa is avidya. And शरीर द्वयस्य कारण मात्रम. शरीर द्वय मतलब दूसरा बाकी जो दूसरा जो शरीर है अर्थात जो स्थूल शरीर एंड सूक्ष्म शरीर ग्रॉस बॉडी एंड सटल बॉडी, इन दोनों शरीर का जो कारण है. और सत स्वरूप अज्ञानम, जो अपना जो सत स्वरूप, उस स्वरूप के विषय में अज्ञान, इट्स इग्नोरेंट ऑफ दैट. एंड which is what is its rupa? It is nirvikalpa rupa. It is nirvikalpa. It is without any vikalpa, without any duality and division. Yat asti, that which is that karana shariram. That is karana shariram. So what are the different things here comes? The first one is anirvachaniya. Anirvachaniya means that which is inexplicable, that which is we can explain through mouth. It is said vachaniya. And it is said avang manasa gocharam. And Swamiji when wrote that Khandana Bhavada Arati Sandha Arati of Ramakrishna Shanga, that it says the avang manasa gocharam. It is beyond the vak manasa gocharam. Uska gochar, to know that by the mind or the speech, it is beyond avang. Or initially it is aw means it is beyond the vak or beyond the mind. So means through vak, through speech, you cannot explain that. And through mind you can also grasp that. So that's why it is anirvachaniya, inexplicable. In another case, Sri Ramakrishna says about Brahman to Vidyasagar in the Vachanamrit, says Brahma uchishta haini. The Brahma kemon ki takiyo ekhone mukhe kew bolte pareni. There also he explains the words, this word that about the Brahman, that is anirvachaniya there. That here also, here about the Karana Sharira says, it is anirvachaniya. And another thing, it is anadi. It is without beginning. Anadi. It is without any beginning. Then it is avidya rupam. It is of the roop of avidya, of the ignorance. There is no jnana is there, it is ignorance. And these three things are given: anirvachaniya, avidya and avidya rupam. Then this part we understand that Sharira dvayasya karana matram, it is the cause of the other two bodies. Causal body is the cause of the sthula sharira, gross body, and the cause of the sukshma sharira, the subtle body. So this is the cause of the other two bodies. Sharira dvayasya karana matram. Sat swarupa ajnanam. Sat swarupa ajnanam. Its main swarup, its main nature is Sat. Sat Chit Ananda, that is his nature. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukti is the nature of that I am in reality Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. But I am forgetting that I am Nitya Shuddha Buddha Atman. I am thinking that I am not that, and I am thinking I am limited. I am body, I am this, I am that, and this is mine, this is not mine. I am limiting myself. So that's why Swat Swarupa Ajnanam. It is forgetting his Swarupa. His Swarupa is Sat. Sat Chit Ananda is Swat Swarupa. Absolute knowledge, absolute existence, absolute bliss. That is his Swarupa. But his Ajnana is not knowing, he is just forgetting, ignorant of his own real nature. Such a funny thing it may say that as it were we are forgetting who am I. And I think suppose a man gets mad or he is in coma, in unconscious, and when he wakes up, in the beginning he forgets who am I, that what is my name, he forgets, he loses his memory. Or even after like we even wake up from a sleep, very beginning, sometimes it happens we are in the a dreamlike state, we forget that where we are, what we are doing. A little bit later, the sense comes back. Theory also says the main Karana Sharira means it is always forgetful of its real nature, that it is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atman, Aham Brahmasmi. So that truth it forgets. And it is also Nirvikalpa Rupam. It is also without any duality. When Nirvikalpa and Savikalpa means where there is some division or duality is there. Here there is no duality. It is also one with the second, but he doesn't know that he is one with us. So that is the problem here. That's why it is called it's ignorance or avidya. This is called Karana Shariram. So many things came in this definition. Now, if we will learn the definition of Ajnana or Avidya in the Vedanta Sara also, then we can see many similarities about the bhava it will come here. How? I'll just read out the definition which is given in the Vedanta Sara by Sadanand Yogindra, and we'll see that some similar concepts when through this Karana Sharira we'll see, because Karana Sharira in fact means when the Atman, Nitya Shuddha, Buddha Mukta Atman is, as it were, covered by Maya or Avidya or Ajnana. Coverments in reality it never covers that. Like Sri Ramakrishna says, when the sun is always there, but you hold a towel in front of the sun and you cannot see the sun. But in reality, can a towel cover a sun? In truth, it cannot, never. It can never, a towel can never cover a sun. But it as it were covers your eyes. Covers the eyes, covers our indras and gyanendras, our body which we are thinking I am, and through that we cannot see the sun. So similarly here also, in truth, the Nitya Shuddha Buddha Atman is there. Is it as it were covered by this Maya or Avarana, Avidya or Ajnana? And that's why it becomes this Karana, this Sharira through that. Then in that state is called Karana Sharira or the causal body. When this Atman is as it were covered by the Maya or Avidya or Ajnana. But in truth, it can never cover it. Like Sri Ramakrishna's that example we gave. So in Vedanta Sara, the definition of Ajnana is like this. It says, Ajnanam tu sat asad bhyam anirvachaniyam त्रिगुणात्मकम ज्ञान विरोधी भाव रूपम यत किंचित इति वदन्ति. Many things are said about this ajnana, which is ajnana or avidya, the same thing, or maya also, the different words of the same thing. Sometimes maya, sometimes ajnana, sometimes avidya. Here it is the avidya word is given, anirvachaniya anadi avidya rupam. And then again, sat swarupa ajnanam. Then ajnan, also two words are given here. So this ajnana is sat asat bhyam. Sat asat means that it cannot be said it is there, it cannot be said it is not there. Sat asat, both. So about sat bhyam, that it cannot be said it is there, sat means it is there, and asat means it is not there. So this is organic such thing, both way it cannot be said. Why? Because when you realize the Atman, that you are Atman, that times this Ajnana is not for you, for a Brahmajnani, for a Sthita Prajna. But otherwise, this Ajnana is there for you, that's why you're seeing a differences in this life everywhere. So you can also ignore this. But if it is always there, true, you could not remove that. It would always be true. But for a realized person, it is not there. So ultimately it is not there for them means that you cannot say it is Sat, it is true. Because for realization, after realization, it disappears. But today, for us as we were unrealized, not yet realized, we see that it makes all the differences. We cannot ignore, we cannot say that it is not there. Like Sri Ramakrishna says, যে হাতে কাঁটা ফুটেছে, যে সেখানে উ করে উঠছে, সেখানে বললে যে আমি শরীর নই বললে কি করে হবে? অর্থাৎ when you, unless you realize that you are not this body, only by just uttering this, it won't mean much. So when till you experience that, you cannot ignore the truth, this fact. But after realization, this is also truth, because all the sages, all the avatars, Mahapurushas, saints in the Upanishads and the Shruti, it is said that it cannot be, it is not the ultimate truth. The truth is Nitya Shuddha Buddhamata Atman. So that's why the word is said, Ajnana is Sat Asat Bhyam. It cannot be said it is Sat, it is true, it cannot be said it is Asat, it is false. Neither way it can be said. That's why it means it is Anirvachaniya. So this is the word, because it is Anirvachaniya means it cannot be said either way. It cannot be definitely explained by anything. This cannot be. So that's why it is called Anirvachaniya. Either way, it cannot be said it is there, it cannot be said it is not there. Means it cannot be explained by words anyway. So it is called Anirvachaniya. Then it is Trigunatmakam. Trigunatmakam means that Sattva, Raja, Tama. That in the Gita it comes in the chapter 14 chapter, the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, there comes that three gunas. So this is the of three gunas, the constituents of this ajnana, this trigunatmaka sattva rajatama. And then it is jnana virodhi, because here it says sat swarupa ajnanam. So it doesn't allow you to know your own nature. So you forget your nature. So this ajnana, ignorant comes, though by your nature your sat chit ananda swarupa, but it just gives you the opposite impression that you are limited, you are a body, and it gives you a state of ignorance. That's why it is jnana virodhi. But it is bhava rupam yat kinchit. It is something. So it is anirvachaniya, but it is not that it is nothing. But something is there. We are not able to explain. Doesn't mean that nothing is there. It is something bhava rupa. Means we are not able to explain that, but something bhava, something, it is something. But I am not able to explain that. That's why it is bhava rupa yat kinchit. This is the definition they are giving. Bhava rupa yat kinchit. Why? Because there are some things are there which is non-existent totally. Like it is called in Vedanta, like example, shasha stringa, like the horns of a hare. We know that যেটা খরগোশের কখনো মাথায় শিং হয় না. So this is the absolute non-existent thing. It's just a word. But সোনার পাথর বাটি. The সোনার পাথর বাটি হয় না. All these things, or castle in a ear. In a ear there cannot be any castle. Akasha kushuma, that flower in the ear. It cannot be, no flower can be in the ear. There cannot be any tree in the ear. It needs mud and clay, and it needs mud, so that soil over which the plant will grow up. So all these examples like Shashaspringa, Akasha Kusuma, Shonar Patharabati, but castle in a ear, all these are non-existent. These are just the absurd thing. But this Ajnana or Avidya Maya is not absurd like that. This is something is there. That's why it is called Bhava Rupa Yatkinchit. Something is there, but I am not able to explain to you. That's why it is called Anirvachaniyam. Sat Asat Bhyam. It is not Sat, it is not Asat, but something is there. So this is called Bhavarupam Yat Kinchit. And the examples are there that we say that Aham Agyaha iti Anubhavat. Everybody has that my knowledge is limited, I know this and that much. But it says that Atman is, that Atmavit is Sarvagya, is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Bhukta, nothing is beyond his, nothing is to be known for him. But any person, normal person, will say, I'm going to say that I'm not knowing, I'm in this, I'm only limited to this body, I'm of very limited intelligence. This is the experience of for all of us. But a Brahmavid, Atmavid, he'll say he'll know that clay, and whatever the for the forms of clay comes, or like through সোনার যেমন গয়না তৈরি হয়, that for the whatever ornaments are made of gold, but the gold mrittike eva satyam, like that the gold itself is true. So that we are Atmavid or Brahmavid, he knows that reality Satchit Anand, that alone is true, everything else is false. But we divide everywhere, and we see the division. That's why it is, for us it is duality everywhere, because we limited ourselves to me and mine and you and yours, like that we put a limitation. Like Thakur says, Ramakrishna, that জলে একটা লাঠি পড়ে আছে, আসলে জলটা দুভাগ নেই, কিন্তু লাঠি রয়েছে বলে মনে হচ্ছে যেন জলটা দুভাগ, কিন্তু সত্যি সত্যি জলটা একটাই জল আছে. There is some stick lying on the floating over the water. It appears that because this stick, the water has been divided, but in truth the water is not at all divided. Only the appearance of the stick makes us think or look that as if where the water is divided, water is without any division. So this savikalpa division comes in when we think we are limited, but here it is nirvikalpa rupam yat asti. Here there is no duality, there is no division here in the Karana Sharira. This is a state of when we in the sushipti, in a deep sleep, when we are there, the dreamless sleep, and there it is seen that this state comes, and nirvikalpa rupam, that we are not knowing anything else, we are not knowing whatever happening. But when we come back from the sleep, we say, I slept, I did not know anything, but I was very happy, I slept very nicely. I didn't know anything else in the world. But this much I knew, I slept very nicely. I slept very happily. So this state of that without any duality, without any division, the nirvikalpa rupam, yadasti, that is called karana shariram or the causal body. So today let us finish with this causal body, karana sharira part. After this called the avasthatraya, that we can study in the next class. Avasthatraya in a very short the three avasthas or three states of experience which are called Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Jagrat is a waking state, and Swapna is a dream state, and the Sushupti is a deep sleep state. That waking state, and in the physiology medical part they said that non-REM sleep and the REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep and non-rapid eye movement sleep. One is Swapna state, one is his Sushupti state, and Jagrat is waking state. These parts we can discuss in the next class, the Jagrat, the Swapna, and the Sushupti part we can discuss in the next class. So today we have studied about the Karana Sharira part, and we have done a very short recapitulation of the last class because we have studied today after a very long gap, 1 hour, 1 month. And if any discussions, any questions, or any observations করতে পারেন, কেউ যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন বা জানার বলার থাকে বলুন। হ্যাঁ বলুন, বলুন, প্লিজ টেল। বেঙ্গল, ইংলিশ, হিন্দি, whatever.
প্রণাম মহারাজ।
হ্যাঁ
হ্যাঁ, প্রণাম মহারাজি। আচ্ছা,
প্রণাম।
এই যে আনন্দময় কোষ, বিজ্ঞানময় কোষ, এই যে 5টা কোষ আছে, এইটা কি কারণ শরীরের সঙ্গে যুক্ত?
Exactly. But this is another way of explaining that. That will come little bit later after we carry on this avasthatraya, the three states, Swapna, Jagrat, Sushupti. You see, after that, in this same chapter, will come the Pancha Kosha, the Annamaya, Manamaya, Prāṇāyāma, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya Kosha. So this is a different way of explaining the same truth. I think the screen is not there. It is come back again. So
আরেকটু প্রশ্নটা
this is a different way to explain the state. These are three. These are different. Like the three body state is one explanation, Sthula, Karana, and the five model is another explanation. Five model explanation is the Pancha Sharira, Pancha Kosha. হ্যাঁ বলুন, আরেকটা প্রশ্ন বলুন।
আরেকটা হচ্ছে ওই সমাধি অবস্থায় অনেক জায়গাতে আমি দেখেছি, বিশেষ করে বুদ্ধদেবের জীবনী বা ওই ধরনের কিছুতে, যে আনন্দময় কারণ শরীর, সমাধির অবস্থা বা সমাধি ভঙ্গের অবস্থা, এইটা কি আনন্দময় কারণ শরীরটা কি?
হ্যাঁ, এই যে এখানে দেখবেন যে পরে পঞ্চকোশা it will come, Annamaya, Prāṇāyāma, that 14.1 it will come later on, we'll do in the next classes, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. There the Anandamaya Kosha is the innermost state. There it will come, we'll discuss in details also Anandamaya Kosha. There will come the, which is the definition of Anandamaya Kosha, how it is related with this three that body model, and how this five kosha model. I'll just tell one thing, that Sthula Shari is the corresponding with the Annamaya Kosha, and the Karana Shari is the corresponding with the Anandamaya Kosha, and the Sukshma Sharira, that subtle body, is the corresponding with the Prāṇāyāma, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya Kosha. So this is a very easy way to remember that. The Sthula is corresponding with the Annamaya, the external Annamaya. The innermost Karana is corresponding to the Anandamaya, and the rest three, Prāṇāyāma, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, comes in the between in the Sukshma Sharira. This is the easy way to understand or remember, but the explanation will come in later in the next class when we will do the koshas separately. আরো কেউ হাত তুলেছেন, বলুন।
Maharaj, I couldn't understand the difference between prana, apana, udana, samana, and vyana.
I think we have not yet studied the details of the five here. Till now it didn't come here. I think it will come later on in the chapter, or if it is not in the chapter, there are the same prana only it is said. According to its five different actions or functions, these five names have been given. And then again we can probably do into the next class only, when the five pranas will do differently. It said that whichever prana's action does, means 5. In fact, there are sometimes it is said it is not 5 only. There are 10 pranas, or Vayu also it is called sometimes Pancha Prana or Pancha Vayu. Some places it is said, and there are some Pancha Mukha Vayu, primary Vayus of primary prana, and there are some Gauna Vayu or secondary prana. So somewhere it is said 5 and 5, 10 even prana. So for each prana, Manavi prana, Apana, Vana, and their meaning means like will come in details in later on. But I'll just say that prana is the which that prana which we say that in our nasika, in our nose, which we that which we inhale and exhale. That is the prana vayu. Apana vayu is goes which goes through the downward side, means which we through when we like defecate, the which air passes through a lower of through the anus, that is apana vayu, which the direction is lower side, and inhalation exhalation is prana vayu, and vyana is which goes in the body in the all side. The means it keeps the body in our different our normal state, balanced state. So the that air moves or prana moves in the body in the all the directions. Then udana goes upper side, like apana goes lower side. Lower means we said that apana means that air which passes through the anus. That is the apana vayu, and that is just the opposite, which goes upper side, udana. So that is called the udana vayu. And samana vayu is which is in the our within our body, within the body, and within our even our digestive system, which takes help through the for our whatever we eat or whatever we drink, so that takes to different places and the digestion happens properly. So that is the work of the samana vayu. In very short, this is the 5 vayu, but we can come in details when we'll do that. And there are 5 gona vayu also there that we can also details come in later on. আরেকজন কেউ হাত তুলেছিলেন, বলুন। আরো কেউ বোধহয় কিছু প্রশ্ন করেছে।
মহারাজজি আমি হাত তুলেছিলাম।
হ্যাঁ বলুন।
হ্যাঁ মহারাজজি আমি হাত তুলেছিলাম।
বলুন।
মহারাজজি আমার আরেকটা প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে, আনন্দময় কারণ অবস্থাটা কি ঠিক ওই রকম যখন বলা হয় যে জপ ধ্যান করার পরে একটা ফ্রেশনেস আসে, একটা আনন্দের ভাব আসে, সেটাই কি এক্স্যাক্টলি আনন্দময় কারণ অবস্থাটার অনুভূতি?
হ্যাঁ, কি হয় যে when we are normally when we are like deep sleep, when we are just not aware of us and we forget ourselves and we are not aware of anything, so that we are ignorant, or any common people or any other animals also, they're not aware of their who they are. So that is a state of that Karana which is given here, state properly, that what he is, at least he can get a glimpse of the truth, and in that glimpse of the truth he can at least they can see or feel or know that I am not this ignorant person, can get the glimpse of his Satchit Ananda state, and he feels that bliss, and from that Anandamaya kosha that bliss comes, and he thinks and he becomes happy after that. That's why after good meditation we feel very peaceful, and we are very stable, and all the whatever problems happen in our other time, we think we can just ignore that and we can withstand that. Like when Swamiji was giving lecture in England, and when Mother Xavier or Captain Xavier, they listened to him in the beginning, they said that after listening to him that just let me find out the part. They said that whatever problems happen in the life, in the world, that time it was there were recession in the society and so problems. But they said that after listening to Swamiji's lectures, their mind was so much elevated. They felt they could withstand all these problems in their life. Nothing could deter or make them any to go down. So this comes after when we do meditation, good meditation, so we can get a glimpse of that Ananda, which is our very Swarupa. So this happens. In other way also you see, when even in the state of Ajnana, totally Ajnana Karana, when we sleep, even a most sad person very, very sad person, a very tense person, if he has a good sleep, during the good sleep, he is never sad. Whoever person is during the sleep, when he wakes up, again he remembers all his past problems, and within after some time, again he may become sad again. But during sleep, he is always a good sleep. Always a person will say that I slept nicely, I slept happily. So this happiness also comes from that Satchit Ananda, but it is covered with that Maya or Avidya Ajnana. That's why after waking up, again he becomes the same ignorant person. But during sadhana, when you do meditation, and then because we are consciously we are attempting or trying to reach that state or touch that state as it were. So we become through that minimum touching or minimum seeing or minimum influence, we become peaceful, more happy, one better person. So this is how it comes. তাহলে আজকে এই অংশটা এতটা হলো কারণ শরীরা। আই থিঙ্ক উই আর এন্ডিং আওয়ার টাইম না, আমরা কি আজকে শেষ করবো তাহলে? আর প্রশ্ন না থাকলে পরের দিনে আমরা উইল ডু দ্য থ্রি স্টেটস, জাগ্রত স্বপ্ন সুষুপ্তি, দেন উইল গো টু দ্য ফাইভ পঞ্চকোশা and pancha prana also. We have left that if it comes in the later chapter, or if it's not there, we can just discuss in next class also pancha prana. So today we studied the Karana Sharira and then short bolun. Please.
মহারাজ, এই যেটা আপনি বললেন অবিদ্যা রূপা আর অজ্ঞান রূপা, তো অবিদ্যা রূপ মানে আমাদের যে এটা মানে কারণ শরীর, সেটা অজ্ঞান এবং অবিদ্যা রূপ, তো
But this is the same thing, the different terminologies. In fact, what is called avidya, that is called ajnana, that is called maya. There's different synonyms of the same thing. Different ways when we explain a different part, that part we emphasize in that way. Like here it is said in the beginning, it is said anirvachaniya anadi avidya. Anadi it is without beginning, but it can end for the person who realizes. For that person, after realization, for him or her, it will end. But for others, because prabha nityata, it will carry on always for other person, and other people will be there, will coming up. Like Swamiji gives one example, like you are boiling one water in a container, and initially that water, one few bubbles will come up, and after time the whole water will bubble up and everything will evaporate. But in a container, water will become dry naturally when we do in the kitchen. But here, because that anadi, that source, and it will come up, always the new jivas will come up, so the container will never end. That's why it's anadi prabha nityata will be, it will never end. But those who become liberated, like evaporating that water, they become liberated, those people. So anirvachana avidya, anadi avidya rupam, it is the rupa of avidya. Avidya means which is opposite of vidya, means or vidya also means jnana. So avidya means ajnana, the same meaning, the ignorance of the reality. And which is ajnana of what? Ajnana of its sat swarupa. In our swarupa we are satchit ananda, we are aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi, you are tattvamasi, nitya shuddha buddha mukta, but we are forgetting about this sat swarupa. So that is ajnana. The forgetting of this knowledge is ignorance, not knowing. So this is just another word of this, and maya is also another word. So different facets are exemplified by different terms. As we said that avidya or ajnana also, the definition cannot be given totally. That's why in the very beginning it is said that is anirvachaniya. It cannot be explained totally. Why it has been said? It is sat asat bhyam. That's two. It cannot be said it exists. It cannot be said it not exists. It cannot be said it exists because after realization it is not there. So it cannot be said it exists. But it cannot be said it doesn't exist because we are experiencing right now. Right now we are experiencing. When a person is dreaming, he is seeing that there are some coming, the tiger or a lion is coming and chasing us. We are frightened. But when we wake up, There's no tiger, no lion. I'm just lying on my cot in the room. But we didn't dream. It was reality for me. So I could not ignore that. I was persevering, and through that perspiration, to that frightening, I woke up. But when I woke up, I saw there's no tiger in the room, there's no lion in the room. So that's why it is said it is Sat Asat Bhavi Anirvachan. It cannot be explained, but it is something Bhava Rupa Yat Kinchit. It is something there. It is not non existent. Like a Shasha Springer, like a hair of a horn, or like Akasha Kusuma, like a castle of the ear, or the flower in the ear. It cannot be uh, non existent. It is not cannot be absurd. Something is there. Bhava Rupa Yat Kinchit. So this is the idea it's giving. And Trigunatmakam, the three gunas, and Jnana Viridhi, it is opposite of the Jnana, and Nirvikalpa Rupam, it is of a state of beyond duality. In the state of sleep, deep sleep, there is no duality for us. Deep sleep, we do not know even, we are not afraid, we are not knowing that who I am, or just we are not knowing or aware of anything during deep sleep. In dream, at least, we are aware of my ideas and we are seeing so many things in the dream. There are duality. But in deep sleep, there is no duality. But it is covered with ignorance. That's why we are not aware of our Swarupa. And in case of Brahma Jnana, there are also no duality, but there you are aware of our own Swarupa. Then Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atman. So this is the difference. So Karanashali is the Atman as it were covered with Ajnana or Avidya or Maya. This is very short the definition of Karana Sharira. So shall we end with that Mangalacharana sloka again? আর কোনো প্রশ্ন না থাকলে আমরা শেষ করি এখানটায় এই শ্লোকটাতে আবার পড়ে নিই Mangalacharana শ্লোক again वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्र नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षाणाभितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधभिधीयते. We bow down to the Guru, the Parameshwar Bhagavan Vasudevendra, who is the king of yogis, who gives us this knowledge, and for the benefit of the one who seeks of this liberation, for us, this Tattva Bodha, this knowledge of the truth, is being explained.